let me set up the monitoring life support stream. You can go ahead and do an intro, whatever you want to do real quick.
AdamEve.com, promo code RRPOD. Like, comment, subscribe, and go ahead on to AdamEve.com and get yourself 50% off almost everything in the store. Get you 6 free videos, lovers, kids, and some free discreet shipping. So go ahead on over to AdamEve.com, not the store.com, because they didn't raise their prices during inflation when gas was $5. So go ahead on over to AdamEve.com and use promo code RRPO. And again, like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, put it on YouTube, and just tag us if you do that. Well, today we're starting a new segment, Serial Killer Files. I just knocked over my lemonade. Fuck my life.
Fuck me.
Literally fell off the table. Like, I ain't even really hit the table. Bro. Like, if you can see how this cup can crack, bro.
Did all of it come out yet?
Bro, look at the damn
Oh,
cup.
go to the bathroom. He's knocking drinks over. I don't know.
Show my fucking remote. Alright.
Bro, I just knocked over my fucking Chick-fil-A lemonade.
You knocked over your Chick-fil-A lemonade, bro?
The whole fucking cup just like cracked. Like, that's the most insane shit that has happened to me today, bro. Like, do you know how bad I wanted that fucking lemonade, bro? Like, I went and got, like, I didn't even get Chick-fil-A to fucking eat. I got Chipotle, but it's like,
The
bruh,
fucking
the shit fucking just fell off the little table, bro, and the whole cup just fucking cracked. Like,
fucking universe knew how bad you wanted that shit, bro.
Bruh, I ain't never seen a fucking styrofoam cup crack, like, literal. Like, that shit cracked like a fucking
That's wild shit, man.
It got me upset.
But while you get that shit sorted out, I'll go ahead on. What have you said so far about this guy?
We talking about Alexander Pushkin?
The chessboard killer. Yeah. What have you said so far about him? So I just know where to start, bro.
Well, nothing much, really. I was just saying that this was the first serial killer's file.
All
So
right.
you can get into it.
Okay, let me see. I'm gonna put a timestamp in the shit so people who come start don't hot damn be bored and shit. Let me go. So okay, so officially at 5 minutes and 40 seconds in, that's when we start talking about bro. But anyway, Alexander Pushkin, I believe that's how it's pronounced, the chessboard killer. His face is gracing the screen right here. The official, most prolific, the highest body count serial killer in Russian history. And I know they got Andrei Chikatilo, or however you say his fucking name. Hold on a second. Anyway, I know they got Andrei Chikatilo over there, and I mean, if you want to go into some history type shit, I know they done had like what's that dude name, bro? I ain't no big history buff to that point. What's that dude name who damn near wiped the whole country out with his fuckery back in World War II? Joseph Stalin, bro, that dude.
Yeah, Stalin.
Yeah, the dictator or whatever. I mean, but we talking about actual serial killers, not genocide and all that. We got this guy here, Alexander Pushkin, the chessboard killer, nicknamed that because of two things. Number one, based on research, documentaries, anything you want to call it that we did on him, he was like a, what is it? Is it introvert? He wasn't popular as a child. He was not popular. Like, he didn't have friends and shit. Like, so he
Him because of his his large shaped head.
bro, we have big head motherfuckers all the time that get popular. Like,
But they really, he got, when he was like a little kid, he was swinging and he fell off the swing backwards and hit his head, and then the swing him in the again. And that's why they were saying that he developed a, a brain injury, like a long lasting brain injury from that.
they trying to say he had like some type of
CTE.
CT. They said they literally. I didn't see. I heard. Of course, I heard them talk about the brain injury. And I read about it. Did somebody literally say CTE?
No, they didn't say it, but I mean, it was the signs. In one documentary, I heard the guy say he got diagnosed with an injury that most sports players have for repeated head blow.
Yeah. So that's pretty much CTE. Yeah. There we go. But for whatever reason, he was able to pick up on and become like a master level chess player, even though he won't particularly considered smart or whatever. Chess is supposed to be the thinking man's game, bro. Now,
He was, and his granddad taught him how to play chess.
this is the thing. Yeah, this is the thing. Let's look him up. Go to his Wikipedia page. I know Wikipedia ain't always the most, but I'm trying to remember the name of the town and the park. Now, he was in Bista Park, but it's a part of town that he lived in that was basically like the poor. It was like the hood of Russia. It was like the hood. And now when you
They called it like the what I want to say they called it like the butt crack of the city, but I
Yeah,
could be
that
wrong.
is what it was. It was like called the ass crack of the city. But this is the thing. It was 10 miles away from the richest neighborhood in the city.
Hmm.
Like it was 10 miles away. And that's pretty much how shit is almost hot damn all over the world. Like we like not even to go like not to go off onto a tangent, but just to put it like this, me and you both know that the projects here is around the corner from $1 million houses, literally.
Nah, yeah.
Literally. Raleigh North, the projects is around the corner from $1 million houses, bro. That's just how it is. But this man here lived in there, lived in this area, and that area that he lived in was a big facilitator of the killings he was doing. That shit made it easy for him. You know
Yeah, it
why?
did.
Because the
Because
police,
the park was the 10 times the size of Central Park, and I mean the police won't really.
they did not give a damn about what was happening in that place. That's the long and the short of it. Cops did not care about what was going on with the citizens of that neighborhood. That lets you know that hold on a second. Hold on.
Well,
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I feel well. Play a song or something.
Oh no, you could just talk about them.
Well, needless to say, this nigga was crazy. He killed about he killed the maximum 60 people, but he even said he lost count of how many people he had killed. So he would lure the people into rural places of the park. One person he lured was saying that he had electronics, and if she came to get them and look at them, that he would give them to her so she can sell it and get some money.
It's like that's some type of form of desperation or something that you're gonna go for something that simple, or like he was said to be like soft spoken or something, so maybe he was easily trusted by people because nobody
Yeah,
knew.
They said his favorite book was like How to Make Friends and Keep Friends, or How to Make Long Lasting Impressions, or something like that was his favorite book. But he knew how to make friends, and they said that he was very likable, but he was really out here killing you.
See, this is the thing, right? Of course, he didn't. I mean, he lived in the part of the town that the police didn't really care about. That, of course, made it easy for him to do whatever he wanted to do and shit. But that lets you know that that is not a phenomenon that is exclusive to America. You already know, like one of the biggest, and it's true though. It's true. One of the biggest complaints that a lot of American people have, especially people that live in like disenfranchised neighborhoods, is that the police just don't care what's going on there. I mean, look at Chicago. It's like the Chicago police almost just let the murder suspect stay on the street because they know the murder suspect is gonna be a murder victim pretty damn soon. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they just let the situation take care of itself. And excuse me, that right there is kind of like the mentality that from the research and the documentaries and all that, the mentality that the police in his area had. because I mean, who cares if somebody come up missing on that side of town? Who cares about it? They ain't the money. You already know Russia is damn near run on like a caste system, bruh. They got people over there called oligarchs. And basically what an oligarch is like what you call the 1% of Russia. Oligarchs can get away with a whole lot more shit, and it might sound crazy, than billionaires in America can get away with. You know what I'm saying? So you're not gonna be fucking cared about if you in the lower class over there. But this guy right here, he how can I put it? He was pretty much a psychopath from a young age. His first victim happened 9 years before he went on his murder spree. Mind you, his first victim was a person that he was planning to do a murder with. They couldn't find a victim fast enough, and the other guy started to, kind of get cold feet on the situation. He started trying to back out of it, like, you know what, I don't know, man. Like, can't we just do this another day? Yeah, we can do it another day. That's what he told him. And then they started walking out of the woods, out of the path. In the park, the path in the woods that will become like the killing fields for him for the next, once his spree started, for the next 14 years, from 1992 to 2006. And as soon as bro turned his back on him, he felt the hammer come across the back of his head. And this is when he was still a high school student. I think that happened when he was 17. Right? Murdered him, left him there. Stuck. Is he the one? Did he start the vodka bottle thing with him? Or I think he started the vodka bottle shit when he became an actual serial killer. Because at this point in time, he was just on murder number one. But 9 years passed, and that's when he started doing what he does. Taking people into the path on the woods in Vista Park, beating them to death with a hammer, and shoving a fucking vodka bottle into the open wound that he knocked off the back of their head. This, number one, a lot of serial killers that we come across, the brutality of levels don't really match his. Murdering somebody is a brutal act no matter what way you do it. Let's not downplay. But bludgeoning somebody to death with it. Most serial killers, at least the ones that come across in popular culture, they strangle people to death. Like, that's what BTK did. That's what Ted Bundy did. Of course, the Hillside Strangler. The Zodiac killer shot people. Son of Sam, I think he shot people too. But a lot of serial killers have the word strangler in their little punk ass nickname. You feel me? Like, they ain't. I mean, I ain't here to glorify none of them. Fuck them all. You understand? But I think it's just kind of like fascinating to see the type of people that turn to this. Like, and he was doing it strictly for his own pleasure. Like, he did it because he liked doing it. Like, his...
Yeah, I even heard in one of these shit, they were saying he got like a sexual pleasure from it.
A lot of them do. A lot of them do. Like a lot of them get a sexual rush from doing it. That was a. I mean, if we want to invoke his name, that was Jeffrey Dahmer's. Uh, that was his motivation. Yeah, it was his motive. Jeffrey Dahmer loved doing that bullshit. He loved doing all the things he did because it got him. It got him off. But this guy here, I don't even know. I kind of would classify him as a thrill killer. Like, seemed like he got a rush from it. Seemed like his favorite moments was the moments right before he knew he was about to take somebody out. Because
he said he felt in control when his life was spiraling out of control. Like he lost his dog. Well, he lost his granddad that taught him how to play chess real good. Then he lost his dog, which he loved, and then he didn't really have much of a relationship with his mom. So I guess they were saying he felt like his world was just spiraling.
And that's a thing that they do when you start watching these fucking shows and reading up on these bozos. They try to start laying out shit that, like, at the end of the day, a lot of people go through a lot of things, and most people don't turn into serial killers. You know what I'm saying? Like, most people don't turn into serial killers. Now let's lay out some numbers. I already said 14 years. His method was always the hammer, if I'm not mistaken. 2 victims survived, were flat out ignored by the police. I even saw news footage of one of the victims being interviewed on the news from her hospital bed, the pregnant woman that he attempted to kill. But according to him, according to what he copped to, 60 victims. And not only did he have 60 victims, not only was he a chess master, he had a drawn out chessboard that he kept tallying on. He was trying to mark all 64 spaces on the chessboard. Like, the police found that.
He was close though.
I mean, according to him, they only would charge him for 49 because that's all the evidence. But imagine that, bro. Even imagine the police having enough evidence to charge you with 49 murders. I watched a video on, I guess you could call him a serial killer, right? And maybe we'll talk about him, but I kind of don't. I mean, technically he is a serial killer, but he was a cartel hitman. Now he never told. No, not Richard. He was a mafia hitman. No, this guy was a cartel hitman, and he never told on his cartel people. He got caught. He got caught up. Side note, because he killed somebody who said something he ain't like about his daughter, and he got caught and he confessed to everything, but he only implicated his own self. He never told on anybody else. Right? He admitted to killing 36 people, but the police could only even charge him with, like, I think 9 of those. Imagine having the evidence, the police having the evidence to charge you with 49 murders. Mm-hmm. That's what happened to him. Now, I was for sure that he would be fucking dead by now, but Russia has a moratorium on capital punishment. And you know, if it's over there, it ain't going to be humane. You're going to get put in front of a fucking firing squad or dropped in the damn gallows or something. You are not going to be in an electric chair or getting lethal injection over there. You're going to get lethally injected with AK-47 bullets. That's what will happen to you over there if they was capital punishing folks still. But they got a moratorium. That's why he got life in prison. But he wanted. This is the crazier part. They only had evidence for 49, bro. He wanted credit for his 60 though. Mm-hmm. He wanted credit for his 60. He didn't like that shit, man. He ain't like the fact that he couldn't get credit for all 60. And that's why I would say, Like, I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist, none of that shit, therapist. I don't got no professional. I'm just a person who watch documentaries, and I don't watched a lot of them. That's why I would say thrill killer, clout killer, whatever you want, a combination of the both. Because he wanted the attention, and he just liked the feeling of taking somebody's life away. That's what I would say. That's what I think about him. Like, piece of shit, indiscriminate killer, as you were saying, killing men, women, children. Didn't matter.
He also, I've heard something where it said he would take a small child and hold them up by their leg and say, "I'm in control now. I'm gonna drop you from like a 7-story, or I'm gonna drop you 7 meters to your death," or something like that. And he did that on video.
And it's not surprising, because one thing with serial killers that you notice if you watch enough shit about enough of them is that the more that they get away with it, the more that they get emboldened to take other measures, and not only to take more drastic measures to kill in more ridiculous ways, but the more they get emboldened to kill more frequently, bro. Like, they like, and I think that you could double or damn near triple the boldness that he might have felt, because it was a factor that is thrown into his case of what he was doing that's kind of unique, in that he almost, and I ain't gonna say almost exclusively, but a big number of his victims was people he knew.
Yeah.
Like, when you usually come across a killer that's killing somebody that they know, it's usually some other type of shit. Like, oh, this person liked that woman, and that woman didn't like them back like that. They only wanted to be friends, so he got to the point where he was so obsessed with her, he killed her. Or they was...
He did that too. It was this guy he knew, and he liked his girlfriend, so he killed the dude, and then 5 months later, he killed the girl too.
But see, that's crazy though, because you would think that if you killed the guy, then you already got your obstacle out of the way. You can have the girl. But I don't think that the motherfucker cared about that woman. He probably just wanted to see. He probably liked her in the manner that he would like to see how her brains look up against a tree or something. Like, it was a woman that he killed. The first woman he killed that he worked with. And according to him, they was walking, right? This one right here really illustrates to you how crazy he is, because he repeated back her last words. Right? So they worked together at a grocery store. He had a crush on her. She was like 10 years older than him. He had a crush on her or whatever. He was kind of shy to talk to her, but he saw an opportunity to talk to her one day when she needed a light for her cigarette. So he went, lit the cigarette. They struck up a little, I don't know, courtship or whatever you want to do, however you want to call it. They talked all the time. He convinced her to go for a walk in the park with him in Bicester Park. Now at this time, like, murders he had already been killing for some years at this time, I believe. Right? Mm-hmm. So it was a story around the area, and it was like the police wasn't doing shit about it, but it was like amongst the residents, like, be careful when you in the park. Like, almost to the point where people just didn't want to even go there. But he told her, like, yeah, let's go to the park. You not scared? No, I'm not scared. So they going for a walk on like a trail or what you would call like a greenway or something like that over here. Because I saw a picture of the trail that he would take people down or whatever. And they going for a walk. And they start to get to the point where the trail run out. And he just keep going. And all of a sudden, they walking, and she just stopped walking, start hyperventilating and shit. Almost throw up. And he stopped talking because he was just having a normal conversation with her. And he turned around to her, and he's like, yo, what's wrong? What's wrong? She said, you the maniac, aren't you? That's you, right? He looked at it. He smiled. He said, yeah, that's me. And she said, you gonna kill me, aren't you? He said, yeah, I'm gonna kill you. And then she hugged the tree. Literally wrapped her arms around the tree. Started crying and dropped down to her knees right before he beat her to death with a hammer. But just the flip the switch from having a conversation with a woman that you so-called had a crush on, with a woman that you were so-called trying to date. Well, we know that wasn't true. Like, we know that was bullshit. He wasn't trying to date nothing. But just at least that you was putting up the front that you was trying to date. So when she got to the point where she realized it was up, like when I was hearing that, I was thinking, okay, this is the one that got him caught, because at this is the one he let go. That's what I was thinking. Nope. She said, you the maniac. I thought he was gonna deny it. Nope. He said, yeah, that's me. You gonna kill me, aren't you? Yep, I sure am. And then he did it. That shit crazy.
He didn't care.
No, because whatever he was doing was never about her. It was always about the thrill of it was always about his thrill. Like, his only mission in life was the murder. If you keeping a tally of it, if you keeping a fucking tally of it on a chessboard, and you mad that they don't give you credit for the 60 people you say you killed, they only give you credit for 49 of them. Like, you already know that this person only mission in life was the murder, and he had no other purpose on this earth. Period.
Yeah. He also said that killing to him is what food is to you.
Like,
so he was definitely, he knew exactly what he was doing.
I mean, shit, man. Like, where do we even birth these type niggas at? Like, where do these people even come from? Like, a person that's this demented.
They said that the swing really hit him and fucked him up. So.
Bro, that shit to me is the biggest crock of shit I ever heard, bro. Like, come on. The swing hit you and fucked you up, and just, do we got a serial killer? Do everybody got a serial killer light switch in their brain that if you get knocked hard enough that this shit just turns on? Like, 'cause that's basically what it sounds like they trying to say. Most people who get CTE, I mean, you do have people who get CTE and do wild shit, like that former player who went and just killed that family like 2 years ago. Rest in peace to them. That guy in South Carolina. But a lot of people who get CTE or suffer from head trauma, and they have, I don't know what you want to call it, lasting effects from it, lasting mental effects. When if they go down the path of harming somebody, they usually go down the path of harming themselves. Like, look at Junior Seau. He committed suicide, bro. He killed himself. A person by all, they get dementia and shit like that. This man didn't have dementia. He was calculated. Like did getting knocked upside the head make his murder planning better? Like, because from what I know about CTE, that would have made him more spontaneous with this type of shit. It would have made him being able to plan out ways to get 60 people in the woods and kill them.
Yeah, they said he even spoke about how he was like friendly and shit and how he liked to make new friends. So it was kind of like he was living a double life.
I don't know, cause to me, he didn't even have time to live a double life. He was killing so much.
Yeah.
Like, I think
He
that
worked in a grocery store.
his whole motivation was the murder. I don't think he ever wanted to really get to know these people that he got acquainted with. Like, I mean, he killed his first accomplice. So we couldn't find a victim fast enough, so I guess the victim gotta be you, nigga. What do you think about his method, though? The hammer. What you think that says about him?
He wanted to really inflict pain on people, and he wanted to do it to where he could stick a vodka bottle in their head. So he was aiming to put holes in heads, literally.
Like,
it's very gruesome. I haven't even seen too many serial killers that really get like super super gruesome with it, with so many kills under their belts. Like, but this guy, Alexander Pichushkin, like, he really was going ham. For me, life without murder is like life without food for you. I felt like the father of all these people, because he opened the door for them to another world.
see,
Like,
that's a type of psychopathic shit.
He felt like their father.
But like with I'm saying with him, like the way that he would go about it brutally, like, to me, that says I think he would have killed anybody.
Yeah.
Bro, I
He
think,
didn't give a fuck
bro,
who you were.
if it's
He
fucking,
killed men, women, children. He probably would have killed his mama if it really came. Well, I don't know.
that's what I was about to say, bro. I think he would have killed his own family members.
I don't think he would have killed his granddad though.
Shit, his granddad died of a sickness or something, so we ain't have a chance to see if he would have done that or not. But bro, I don't know. Just look at him. Look at this fucking dude, bro. Like, this is the poster boy for murder. Like, look at this fucking face, bro. I can't even move it. Can I move it over so people can see it? Nah, I can't move it over. I ain't got enough scenes set up. But this picture right here, this fucking picture, like right here, bro. This shit. Uncaring eyes. Ain't nothing but death behind them eyes, bro. Nothing. Nothing but death. Had his ass been over in America trying that shit, he would have been caught after the first two. Well, as reckless as he was. As reckless as he was, if he would have been in New York leaving bodies in Central Park, he would have been caught. And I guarantee they would have tried to link his ass to something in another state so they could ship him off to be executed. You know what I'm saying? So, Go ahead on and touch on his prison stay. Like, remember, didn't you say the first 15 years he spent in solitary confinement?
Yeah. So he finally had got. I mean, he got caught. He got caught because his last victim had a train ticket in her pocket. So they linked the train ticket and went back and looked at the footage, the video cam footage from the subway, and saw that she was with him, which pinned him to the murder. And the nigga spent his first 15 years of a life sentence in fucking solitary confinement, which I find fucking crazy. Like, they kept you away from niggas for 15 years before you even could see people.
But this is the thing, though. Why even did it take that much for you to have to go through video cameras and shit to find when you had 2 surviving victims? When you had the pregnant girl who he failed at killing, and you had a 13-year-old boy who he failed at killing. He had 2 victims. Bruh, I'm trying to go to his page. Let me go to the page so I can pull the victims up. But like, why is it taking the why is it taking for them to fucking find a plane ticket in somebody's pocket, bruh? This shit crazy.
Did I say plane ticket?
A train ticket, I mean. Train ticket. Yeah. You was right. I said it wrong. But
they definitely got that nigga. They probably would have gave that nigga the death penalty if they could.
yeah, but they can't. Like, it's a moratorium on it. They should have gave it to him. Like, it would have been. I don't know. He a fucking coward, bro. Cause he killed everybody once their back was turned on him. Like, he a coward. Like, he snuck up on people and killed them. But like that, all serial killers are cowards. In my opinion, fuck all of them. It ain't really no room in the world for people like him. He should just be wiped out. Once you sit up there and tell people you killed 60 people, and then they can link you to 49 of them. They got evidence that you did 49, and they know for sure you did 49, bro. What's there to talk about? Take them out. And then the police in that area. I mean, I bet you nothing happened to any of those fuckers. I bet you nothing happened. Like, when you get a victim come to you and tell you about what's happened with this fucking monster of a guy, and your response is to tell them to leave you alone before you arrest them and hem them up, like, don't bring this shit back to our attention, we don't care. Like, that let the reign of terror go on for literally more years. Because if I'm not mistaken, the first survivor, the pregnant woman, was one of his earlier victims.
Yeah, I'm not sure like what order the victims or even any of the victims' names.
I mean, I can't read them shits. They all in Russian, bro. This shit is. They are all in. This shit is ridiculous. I cannot read any of that. Nobody translated that shit.
I just find it crazy that he was like a genius in chess, though. And it was like they said he could drink like insane amounts of liquor, because he would offer the old people liquor. He killed a lot of old people. He would offer them like vodka and stuff, and challenge them to games of chess. And the vodka didn't even mess with any of his chess skills. Like, he would still be just as good. Like, the The liquor had no effect on his chess ability, and he would still get done with that and just kill you.
Man, this shit is it's fascinating the to I wouldn't say dissect, but to just observe a person like him. I mean, deemed him such a threat that they kept him locked in a glass box at his trial. They was treating this dude pretty much like he was fucking Hannibal Lecter, bro. Except he just didn't eat nobody. Like,
He would just beat you in the head with a hammer and impale you with a vodka bottle.
drop you down a well. See, like, I don't know. Because I wouldn't call him so much of a mastermind when it comes to his killing as that he was lucky. Because
Yeah, he got lucky because the police weren't really taking him serious. Well, not taking him serious, but taking the victim serious.
and this is the other thing, bro. He was able to drop people down that well, right? And that well was part of the sewer system, so they would just wash away. They wouldn't find them in the same place that he did the murders. Like the girl who, excuse me, the girl who was pregnant, she survived because when he threw her down the well, her shirt got caught on the side of a well on one of the jagged rocks. She was literally unconscious hanging there. And when she woke up, she was able to climb back out of the well. I'll pull a picture of her up. Bruh, I don't know. You know how they did us last time. For I don't know what the hell we got. What we got thrown out the... we got tossed out for. Where is the picture of her at with all the bruises and shit on her face? I can't find it. It was in a documentary I saw. It won't even right here. Like, it won't. Oh, I know who. I got an idea for another one to do next too, bro. I got an idea for another killer to talk about. Arthur Shawcross, bro. His ass might have been more ruthless than this nigga. He ain't kill as many people, but he cared probably less than this guy cared, bro. But Arthur Shawcross, the AKA the killer whale, because he was fat. But anyway, yeah, he was able to throw people down a well, and they wash away into the sewer system and come up miles away from where the killings happened. He was just lucky. His circumstances, situation, and his environment really facilitated him being able to kill 60 people and get away with it. Because I think the person who it wasn't the last person he killed that got him caught. The woman, it was the woman who replaced the lady who I mentioned earlier. She was the one who worked with him, the one who realized that he was the murderer right before he cracked her across the head with the hammer. Like they worked together. The one who got him caught was the one who replaced her at work after he killed her. And she told her son that she was going to be with him.
I thought it was her boyfriend. I heard something that said she gave him Alexander's number and said that she was going on a walk with him or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was her son, bro. It wouldn't have made no sense for it to be her boyfriend. Because if it was me, then let my girl say, "Oh, I'm going on a walk with this nigga, bro. I'm showing the fuck up too." Like, so we would have all been out there looking at each other. We would have all been out there. I'm invested. I'm out there. Yo, you going on a walk with this nigga? No, the fuck you not. What you talking about? I think it was her son though. I think from what I heard, it was her son anyway. but I could be wrong. Like, hold on a second.
This nigga Alexander Pushkin is crazy. Pushkin.
Yeah, man. Like,
It is insane.
I think with all serial killers, with most of them anyway, with most of them, but with him especially, I think that he never got caught. He still be killing people right now.
I wouldn't doubt it either.
I think he still be killing people right now. I think he would have ran up his body total to fill up as many chessboards as he possibly could have until he got caught. Because the one thing that show you how ruthless he was, if this is to be believed, is that when he got caught and he got interrogated and the officer asked him, do you have any regrets when it comes to this situation? And his words back to them was, I regret you caught me because I was supposed to kill somebody else in 2 days. How out there is that shit, man? Like,
Nah, that's very.
how out there is, I regret that you caught me because I was supposed to do a new fresh murder in 2 days. And had it not been for the last person alerting somebody that they was going to be with this fucking clown, he wouldn't have got caught then either. Like, he wouldn't have got caught because they didn't care to catch him anyway. They didn't care. There is video of him on YouTube out there giving his confessions and giving, like, you want to pull that up and play some of it?
Yeah.
Of him in the woods giving the reenacting some of the shit he did. Hold on a second. Let's go to YouTube. Today will not be a day with the iconic Young Thug YouTube video. It won't. Today will be a day in which I go and pull up this chessboard fuckface. Let's see if there is. Look, oh shit, we popped up in the algorithm, but our thumbnail ain't there. Do I need to go and change it? Come on, bro. Come on. Let's see.
Unless we had proof.
Nah, this is some other shit. This is a documentary. I'm trying to see if I can find the guy. I mean, the thing where he was out in the woods just telling them about it. Well, I can't find it. But what I do need to do is go update this thumbnail so it actually shows up because they bullshitting with us. But anyway, yeah, he went ahead and reenacted it for him, and the reason I wanted to pull it up and play part of it is because it's like he was having a good time reenacting it. It's like he was living the murders all over again. He was doing it with a smile on his face. Really and truly, I think this is one of the most ruthless serial killers that I ever seen. I done watched documentaries on known serial killers, unknown serial killers, and with him, I just think, damn, a head injury, bro. I think killing was just, I think he was born with it. Like, I think he was born with it. I don't think a fucking.
I don't think, because it was too, he had to be definitely very intelligent.
But he was said to be kind of stupid, bro. Like, he was said to be kind of stupid.
Yeah, he was in, like, they said he was in special ed or whatnot.
Like,
I just know you ain't stupid if you can lure 60 some odd people to the woods and kill them.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing, though. He was luring people who already trusted him into the woods. He knew him.
And they also said that was like he would gain the trust of the person before he killed them. So yeah, that is true.
Like it ain't like he master manipulated people out into the woods. That was more like, let's go into a well known killer real quick and show the difference between what this guy was doing and what that guy was doing. Let's talk about Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy would go to the point where he had his setup where he would park his car, his Volkswagen Beetle, on the side of the road, like his tire was flat, or like he needed help with groceries or some shit or anything, and have his arm in a sling, bruh, pretending like his arm was broken to get women to pull over and get close enough for him to snatch him up and take him off and have his way with him. And then, of course, the rest of what he did. Like, that's somebody who planned it out and was able to manipulate his way into victims. Because he taking it as far as to have a whole elaborate setup. The motherfucker had a costume. Had his arm in a sling, neck braces on and shit. And then he taking people off to go and kill them after they fall for the trap that way. And this dude was just, and these is complete strangers Ted Bundy was luring out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they say he got a lot of his victims off his looks, though.
And that,
apparently the women loved the way he looked, so they didn't mind going.
And that could be true, but they didn't look at him and see him and just hop up in the fucking car. Like, they didn't just see him and pull over, like, and just get in the car. He had to talk his way into that. And he had a reason. He had as stupid as it might sound now. Back when he was doing his thing, it was way more common for people to trust each other when it come to traveling. Like hitchhiking and all that shit was big back then. So as stupid as it sound now, like if I see some strange mug on the side of the road with a sling on his arm, bro, and I'm driving down the highway, bro, like I'm driving 85 miles per hour already. I'm keeping going. But back then when he was doing this thing, it was commonplace for people to be in and out of each other's cars like that. But he had a plausible looking setup that made him able to lure women in, and that's how he got them. Like, and maybe once he started laying the charm on, they was looking at the nigga like, oh yeah, they like how he look and all that shit. But he had to do something to get the attention of him, to get him over to him in the first place. Like this dude, he just already knew the people. He lived in the neighborhood with them, worked with them, played chess with them, all that. So most of the people who he killed already trusted him anyway. Or not, I ain't gonna say most, but a lot of the people he killed already trusted him anyway. They knew, bro, from when some of them knew him from when he was a kid. Like we said, the first one was his own classmate who he was planning to do a murder with. Like, oh,
that is crazy though. Alexander Pichushkin was really one of the craziest serial killers I've read about so far. Maybe one of the brutal ones. I'm eager to see who else we gonna have up here though, or who else we can find.
Bro, Alexander Pichushkin is one of the crazy, because his ass is still alive.
Yeah.
Like, that's the crazy part. His ass is still alive, chilling in Russian prison. Like, but as far as who we can have up here, bro, like the I don't know, but do you want to go serial killers in the traditional sense, or serial killers like hitmen and all that type of thing too?
Either one works for me. Talk about all of these motherfuckers. If you kill people multiple people on different days.
And then you have like the things you have like serial killers versus spree killers because they kind of classify them differently. Like a serial killer is more of a guy that's doing it over a period of time, whereas a spree killer is somebody like Elliot Rodger who went and just killed like 5 or 6 people in the same day. Like
That's like a kill. That's a spree.
yeah, like that's. But I mean, what a fucking loser he was. Like you pretty much. At least I don't know if it is now or not, but I know. I know that recently, or I know that you could get banned for talking about him on YouTube, bro. Literally, I seen whole channels get deleted for talking about him.
Talking about who?
Elliot Rodger, bro. Like I seen literal channels deleted for talking about Elliot Rodger, bro. Like he's a loser piece of shit. So why is anybody being punished for bringing light to him? Like he was trash. That's my extent to what I would say about him. I wouldn't damn sure glorify his bum piece of shit ass. But I wouldn't glorify any of them, and I damn sure ain't gonna call Alexander Pichushkin no smart person, bro. This nigga was just a fucking opportunistic killer, bro. In my opinion, he saw.
It was over for you.
He just saw he saw that he was able to get certain people, and he got them. That's it. That's how I look at it. Not that he was some master. He ain't had no master plan. All he had was a fucking hammer and a place to dump bodies. That's the way I look at it.
You didn't keep a hammer on. A hammer to get the job done.
Why you think that we don't see more killers use guns?
For one, it's
More
too
serial
loud,
killers.
way too loud, and if you planning on getting multiple people, you probably don't want to use something that's going to alert the whole neighborhood or surrounding areas.
You would think that they would just get a silencer though, like.
Too much work. Where the fuck this nigga about to get a silencer from? You can get you a knife or a hammer or a fucking crowbar
or your hands or your belt.
Hand, yeah, or anything for that matter. Like, who the fuck's going to get a fucking silencer? Like, you gotta have all type of license to get a silencer.
I don't know, fucking no serial killer is about to get a license to do anything, bro. They just go.
That's what I'm saying. Nigga, that's why they don't use guns or silencers.
You know what I'm saying? If a serial killer wanted to use a gun and he wanted to silence it, he just gonna find a way to get a silencer. He ain't gonna go through the legal means to do so. Like, that ain't good. I mean, the Zodiac killer, the killer who never got even caught. Like, they so-called, allegedly somebody confessed to it or something. But he used guns. He shot people. And so did that Son of Sam motherfucker. I think his name David Berkowitz.
Yeah.
Like, he shot people too. But I was just like wondering why more of them don't do it. Like, I mean, this guy used a hammer. Like,
because it's too loud. That's what I would think. But that's crazy. They ain't never find that nigga.
Who, the Zodiac killer? Right, he was playing games with they ass, bro. The Zodiac killer was making up fake languages and all type of shit. He was having too much fun doing what he was doing. Yeah, like he was having too much fun doing what he was doing, bro. And like I mean, they're all scum, but they're all fascinating people. Like, one of the ones that we can talk about that we could really do more I mean, Alexander Pichushkin, what's more to be said about him? He killed 60 people. He might have killed more. And he basically didn't have to do much to cover it up because nobody cared that people were even dying. The only
Down
people
to the
that
point he was just leaving the bodies in the open, like because they said the closest to the time he got caught, he would just start leaving the bodies wherever he fucking killed them at.
and it was speculated, at least I saw people speculating that he was doing that because he was tired of not getting like notoriety for it. Like he wanted to get caught so he can go ahead on and get his credit or whatever. But I don't know if you would want to talk about this guy, like, because this guy, like, all of them are deplorable scumbags, but this one is one of the most deplorable scumbags that we could talk about. And you know who he is. Dennis, what's his name? Dennis Rader. You know, does that name ring a bell?
Mm-hmm.
You know who he is.
TK killer.
The BTK killer. And one of the reasons why we could talk about Dennis Rader in better detail and more detail and really react to what's going on is because Dennis Rader's stood up in court and confessed to all of his murders. And just to see the look on his face when he was doing it, it was like he was talking about, it was like he was sitting up there telling you what he had for dinner last night. The look of the, like, this is just some routine shit and I really don't care. What I'm saying really doesn't matter. And everybody who I'm talking about can get fucked. That's what he looked like when he was talking about the murders. And I'm talking about, he was talking about murdering whole families. Bruh, like, he was talking about murdering whole families and he just did not care, dog. So we can, I don't know what order we gonna do this shit in. We got a whole week to figure out when we gon' who we gonna talk about next. I'm about to kill this mosquito. Die. Motherfucker. Yeah. Anyway, we got a whole week to figure out who we gonna talk about next, but talking about him is like, I don't know, man. Like, if it's, let me not say that. Anyway, if it's one killer that I've seen that I just wished a multitude of bad things upon them when I was seeing them, it was Dennis Rader, bro. It was Dennis Rader, and it was Dennis Rader and Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, all I'm gonna tell you is this: when Jeffrey Dahmer was doing this thing, it ranged from before I was born to I might have been 4 years old when he got caught. Not 4 years old when he got caught. I think I might have been like 4 years old when he got killed. But when I found out and researched into him and found out that he got beat to death in prison, I was like, bro, that death was too quick for him. But I guess bruh had to do what he had to do in the time that he had allotted to do it. So he ain't have time to draw it out. He just had to, beat his brains out and keep it moving. But fuck, F him. Like, anyway, man, I don't got really much else to say about Alexander Pichushkin. The chessboard killer got 60, was going for 64, and really didn't get caught until the police had no other choice but to fucking catch him. Like, he was literally damn near leaving bodies on their doorstep. Like, they had no choice but to catch him.
He gave them no choice. I mean, he started leaving the bodies just wherever. Mm-hmm. But I think he just generally stopped giving a fuck.
Yeah, I think he never gave a fuck. I think he was having fun. Like the aspirations that you might have when you a young person to be some type of professional athlete or to be some type of astronaut or some shit or a fireman. I think his aspiration was to be the most notorious killer in the history of history when it come to serial killers. Like, and I hadn't even heard about bro until a couple, because they highlight Andre Chikatilo. When it come to Russia, they highlight him so much. He the way more famous one, at least from my experience. Andre Chikatilo is more famous than this guy is. But this guy right here was like, how can we put it? How can we put it? Like, I'm trying to use the sports, and I don't want to compare nobody to him. I ain't gonna use no sports analogy. But if Andre Chikatilo was the guy that was, Andre Chikatilo is the guy that was getting all the all-star votes. But this guy right here is the guy who was putting up all the stats and winning championships. That's what this guy was. That's what this guy is. Andre Chikatilo getting all-star votes, but this guy was getting rings. Like, that's how you could put it, because he literally is the most prolific in the history of the country. And if he never got caught, he would have kept going. He would have kept going until he got caught, or he would have kept going until somebody killed his ass. Until he met that one person that he couldn't overpower. You know what I'm saying? Right. But anyway, whenever you die, chessboard killer, rest in peace. That's all I got to say about you. You got anything else to put out there, bro?
Living, if somebody asks you to walk into the woods, no matter how friendly they are, I think you should, think about it before you do it, especially if they're carrying a bag with them.
Right.
So,
I will say that other than the fact that he knew a lot of these people, other than that fact too, he did start doing this shit in the 90s. Back when people was still way more relaxed with how they handled situations. Like, people was way more trusting. Like, because back in the 90s, what could you do? You couldn't hot damn fill out a person through a DM. Or some shit like that. You couldn't just say, nah, before I do whatever, we gonna DM for like 4 months. I mean, I guess you could say you could talk to him on the phone or something, but you couldn't fill him out with a DM or some people have full-blown friendships with people they ain't never met in person. Because of how we can connect with each other now with the internet. You couldn't do that back in his time. So, like, people was more trusting. Like, people was used to having in-person contact with people and getting to know them that way. And a lot of these killers took advantage of that. A lot of them did. Like, shit. Like, look at the serial killers we got today, right? Like the Craigslist killer, for example. He was meeting people on the internet, but he got caught after killing like 3 people. Like, that shit closed in on him quickly. Like, because motherfuckers ain't, not only that was you leaving like a trail behind every time you do some type of digital transaction with anybody, like you leave a trail behind. But not only did you do that, but hot damn, people ain't gonna just trust you like that now. Shit, I done brought shit off of Craigslist, and thank God I ain't never come across anybody who had hostile intentions. But if I did come across somebody who had hostile intentions, it was going to be a shootout because I was fully strapped. every time I went to get something from Craigslist.
Mm-hmm.
So like, but that's not to say like that ain't to disparage nobody who fell victim to any of this shit. I'm just saying like we are way less of a trusting society now than we were back when this fucker and those of his like were able to kill double-digit amounts of people before they got caught. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. Shit like that wouldn't be going down these days, definitely. But I don't really got nothing else to say about this nigga other than he was crazy as shit.
Mm-hmm. True that. And I mean, the last thing I got to say about him is, like I said, fuck him. Goodbye. Like, rot away in that jail cell that you in, and then when you die, I hope nobody remembers. That's it. That's it. When you die, they should throw you down the fucking sewer pipe that you threw everybody else down. I don't. Why give you a proper burial? Give you what you gave everybody else. Toss cuz down the pipe. Let them get washed away with the rest of the shit. That's all I gotta say about him, bro.
Yeah. I ain't got anything. AdamEve.com, promo code RPOD. Go get you some shit, because they ain't raised their prices from inflation.
Yep. Get you some shit. Have you some fun with it. 50% off. Almost everything in the store. And when you place your order, you use the promo code, you get free shipping, and they ship it in an unmarked package. You get all your clandestine activities will remain clandestine because Adam and Eve cares about your privacy. AdamEve.com, promo code RRPOD. And we're going to go ahead on and wrap it up. This is just a pilot episode. A little bit of a hot damn, how can you put it, discussion, conversation about them as we continue to go into talking more and more about these type of people. We'll go ahead on and structure it a certain type of way. I ain't really want to pull up videos of him because it was more documentaries that other companies made. It's like a BBC documentary out there and shit. But like if we talk about Russell Wilson, ain't that fucked up that there's a serial killer named Russell Wilson? You know who I'm talking about?
Really wondering, like, what the fuck Russell Wilson got to do with these niggas.
Yeah, but if we talk about Colonel Russell Wilson, he was like an Air Force colonel, lieutenant, or something like that in Canada for the Canadian Air Force. We can pull up like his interrogation, like where he's another one, like callous sociopath when he gave his confession, talking to you like as if he was talking about what he had for lunch earlier. And not only was it that, he was using all those polite. If you ever seen the movie Fargo, that's what you will think about when you hear him give his confession.
Mm-hmm.
Like all those polite little idioms that they use up in that region of North America, in that region of the continent. He was using all that. But he was using it while he was talking about tying up, killing, sneaking into women's houses, murdering them with like one of those big utility police flashlights, and stealing their underwear. Literally.
That's crazy.
And he had basically, I call it the murder cabin, because he didn't he didn't murder these people in the cabin, but he went up to a cabin that he had in another town, and when he was staying there, he would go out and kill the neighbors there. But his wife and shit was never with him because his wife is at her normal house. But he was at his murder cabin where he could sneak off, pretty much had free reign to do whatever he wanted to do and go find victims, sneak into the house, kill them. Beat him to death with a flashlight. He did take one woman back to that cabin. But anyway, this ain't about him. RRPOD, AdamEve.com. Go ahead on.
We're going to get to a lot more serial killers.
And there's plenty of documentaries you can catch on the on YouTube about this particular piece of shit right here. Anyway, we're going to go ahead on and sign off.